Well, greetings, friends, and welcome back to a special issue. I know many of you have been clamoring for this issue. Today is a day in which we're delighted to share and who is going to be succeeding us at Denver United Methodist Church, Huntersville United Methodist Church. And we'd like to make introductions today because I think I can speak for Steve when I talk about just how excited I am for the life of these churches to receive these persons who are going to be serving as Steve and I step out. I feel so good about the Reverend Dr. Luke Edwards to my right stepping in. And Steve, you want to make introduction?
Yeah, this is Reverend David Hyatt. David's going to be making his way up here from Belmont, where he's been at Park Street for the last 12 years. And yeah, I just feel leaving a place is hard. And I know you're leaving a place after 12 years. But it does make it a lot easier when you're confident about who's coming in next. And I've known David. I think I first met you almost, gosh, a long time ago when I was serving at Morris Chapel, and I believe you were a student at Duke. And so that's been a minute. But also we have a mutual friend and Reverend Dr. Glenn Kinkin. Uh,
Mm.
so David was in the youth group that Glenn ran at Memorial in Thomasville and was part of his answer to the call of ministry. And that those connections kind of happen. And as luck would have it, Luke's been worshiping over here at Denver with his family while he's been serving on the conference staff. So he told me once he would go to Huntersville, but he couldn't stand your preaching. So pretty pretty excited about that. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who feel that way, but that's okay. Well, let
No,
me let me also introduce the Reverend Dr. Luke Edwards and have him tell us a little bit about him. Luke is been busy, and so Luke, I tell the folks a little bit just about where you're coming from and what's been going on in your life these last few years.
Sure. Yeah, I've spent the last 7 years at the conference office in the role of Associate Director of Church Development, and now we call it Reimagining Congregations. So I've worked with, probably hundreds of churches at this point now in helping them to reach out to their neighbors to form new forms of church called Fresh Expressions. I've also worked in innovation and helping churches adapt to just the changing world around them. And then most recently, I've worked a lot with our Hispanic congregations and Hispanic clergy. So I've really enjoyed that work the last few years. And yeah, I'm excited. The last few years started feeling the itch of wanting to get back to the local church. Before I was at the conference office, I spent 12 years at Boone United Methodist in various associate roles. And so yeah, felt ready to be back for a few years, and this was a good year to do it. And I was just super excited when I got the call that I was going to be going to Huntersville UMC.
So, Steve, I'd love to hear from David a little bit about his family, and then maybe Luke would tell us about
well,
about
have
who
you
he
not
brings
figured
around.
out that this podcast is always about me?
Well, but I was hoping we're
We've been doing
shifting.
this for like 3 or 4 years. No, as again, I'm going to give David the opportunity to just share a little bit about what's been going on with him, so the folks at Denver and Huntersville can learn a little more about his story.
Yeah. So my name is David Hyatt. I have been at Park Street United Methodist in Belmont for the last 12 years and spent a lot of that time just working as a church to open ourselves up to the community, to be a church where the community felt comfortable being on the church campus, but more importantly, for the church to be a face out in the community. So we've done a lot of work around that over the last 12 years. One big thing that we have been working on pretty heavily the last few years is leasing some unused land the church has to an independent senior living developer. And so the plan now is we've got that through rezoning. Park Street will be moving forward with working with that developer, leasing that land, and building 99 units of independent senior living there on their campus. It's a great way for community and church to kind of come together, an excellent mission opportunity for them, and an excellent opportunity for those folks who will be living there to sort of be tied back and tied into a church community as well. So
Well, we have something in common here
Yeah.
with you at Huntersville. We're in the midst of some conversation around that. But first, David, tell us family who you're dragging out of the parsonage into the new
Yeah.
parsonage with you.
Well, there's no
no
parsonage.
parsonage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a first time home buyer. So that's been a lot of fun the last couple of weeks, kind of navigating that. But we're closed now and we have keys. So that's been fun. But my wife of 15 years, May, is a high school teacher. She teaches high school business in Gaston County. And then I've got two daughters. I've got a 9-year-old who's finishing up 3rd grade this week. And I've got a soon to be 5-year-old who's got one more year of preschool to go. And then she'll be ready for kindergarten. So we're all really excited about this new opportunity, excited to get to know the people here at Denver, and excited to work with them and to do some ministry alongside them.
And originally you're from Thomasville?
Originally from Thomasville. May is from Louisville, just outside of Winston-Salem. She grew up in a United Methodist church as well. So yeah, we're Methodist through and through. We went to college together at High Point University, and then just kind of knew each other. High Point was small back then, and everybody knew one another. And then May and I ran into each other at annual conference one year. Her dad was the district lay leader in the old Winston-Salem district and had signed her up as a young adult delegate. And we ran into each other and started dating shortly after that. So it's a real Methodist love story, we like to say.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Well-
let's turn to Luke and let Luke tell us a little bit about his family and anything else, Luke, you want to say to the good folks at Huntersville, especially.
Sure. Yeah, a fairly similar family. I've been we'll have our 15-year anniversary in June. Been married to my wife Jenna. We met at a backpacking trip for incoming freshmen at App State. So she's one of the first people I met in North Carolina. I was moving from Western Massachusetts to a new state to the south. And so yeah, we met in college. Got married a month after we graduated from college. And we have 2 daughters. Mary Frances is going to be 8 in just a few weeks, and Anne Marie is 4. And they're both a lot of fun. Jenna and I like to laugh a lot and have a good time. And she's very extroverted. She'll enjoy meeting everybody. Yeah, just really excited to be at Huntersville UMC to really invest in the community. I've worked all across the region for the last 7 years. So I'm excited for my world to shrink and to be in one town, to not put 10,000 miles on my car for work every year. I'm excited to yeah, just really invest and to get to know the people of Huntersville UMC, to get to know our neighbors, to just build off of the work that Paul and the church and the CGC, the staff have done. Just excited to listen and learn in my first few months, and to jump in and to see how my gifts can be helpful to the church.
Well, Luke, our children's coordinator, Courtney, is going to desperately miss your family. It's been an honor to have you all worship here at Denver while you've been serving at the conference office, and I'm probably part of that itch for you to get back into ministry, because you're like, that guy, if that guy can do it, who can't do it? So I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, we've enjoyed being a part of Denver UMC.
Well, I would say Paul and I certainly talk a lot. We're very good friends, and friendships in this work matter so much. Um, it would be hard to do this if you didn't have good friends, especially friends who are in pastorates, because you kind of know what it's all about. But both of us have shared just how excited we are for both of these congregations that um, they're both greatly blessed to have each of you come. And it's an interesting system we're in, this whole United Methodist thing, and this may seem odd to some folks who may be watching this who didn't grow up in the Methodist tradition. It's like, oh, the outgoing pastor and the incoming pastors are all talking to each other. Well, we do believe in this connection.
Yeah.
We are part of each other's lives, and we share ministry together. And this is part of what a shared ministry looks like. And we hope and pray a healthy handoff looks like to each of you as you come in to continue the work that God has. Because, as much as Paul and I kid around, we know it's never our work. We have a role to play. If we do our best to steward it, but it's always God's work. And the work of the Spirit to bring you both to this point in your life where you're serving these churches. We'll be praying for you. I'll be praying for you, especially Luke, because I know what Paul's left behind over there. But I'm sure David could use your prayers as well, because he might have more problems than you do. But no, we are grateful to be able to again be part of this clergy covenant together, where we do pray for each other and offer support for one another. And again, just grateful for that. And both of you, just remember, Paul's retiring, so he's available for things.
Yeah, let me take a sip of something on that. Here's also one thing that I wanna add. I know Steve.Autrey, and I know, having been around the people of Denver, how much they love Steve.Autrey. I can't figure it out, but they do.
That's a great mystery.
Yeah. And it's reciprocal. I know Steve has served and loved those people well. And I love the people at Huntersville, and believe they love me as well. And so to look forward to the deep connection, and as we say all the time, ministry is all about relationship. You're going to grow to learn to love Luke and his family. And I think Steve and I are here today, as much as anything else, to offer not only permission, but encouragement. We hope you'll miss us a little bit, but more than anything else, we hope that you will open the arms of hospitality and welcome. It is not a dishonor to us for you to immediately embrace them with welcome, with hospitality, to find ways so that they make their way into your life as pastor. And that is an important role. And that role takes time, it takes trust, but it also takes intentionality of saying, this is my pastor, and Paul Thompson is no longer my pastor. Steve.Autrey is no longer my pastor. Even though we'll always have a bond of love, these two guys are the pastors, and we want you to embrace them with that sacred responsibility. And we'll be watching from afar. We'll certainly still be invested in hoping and praying that the outcomes are as good as we think they're going to be. But that's really important, I think, for me to say, and I think Steve would agree.
Absolutely.
We want you to embrace these two people with nothing but love and welcome. Because you loved us, you'll also love them.
Absolutely. And any way that we can help you all, we're here for that, especially during this time of transition and change. And it's important to note that, change is hard sometimes, but it's also necessary. And Paul, after a pastorate, 13 years at Huntersville and 10 years at Denver, this is a big moment in each church's life. And we don't want to understate that, but we also know that it's part of the growth of any organism to experience change. And it's important for church leadership in the pastor position to change for fresh ideas and new things to come. So I'm excited for both you and Luke, David, and just again look forward to what will be in your ministry in this place. So
So,
and
David, you've been on a visit with Steve today. Anything you learned that you were so shocked or surprised at? Anything you want to share? I know
Yeah,
you.
there's a lot, but I can't talk about most of it. But no, I mean it is I think what I got to sit in on a staff meeting this morning, and I think for me the biggest thing I took away was just how much you could tell they love and care for one another as a church staff, and I think that in turn will go on to produce fruit in the congregation. If there is a good team of leadership who love and trust and care for one another, then a church can't help but to love and trust and care for their leadership, and vice versa. That leadership can't help but to love and to trust the people they are serving alongside as well. And so I think for me that's the biggest takeaway from today was just the team that Steve and David have been able to build here at the church, and just how committed they are to this place and how committed they are to these people and to this ministry. I'm excited to be a part of that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to chime in with you there, David. I've met the people who work with Steve, and they are remarkable. And you're stepping into a situation with some wonderful people. And so, Luke, you spent the morning with us. Anything you want to share about that?
Yeah. So I spent some time with the whole staff and with a couple of the other staff individually, and walking through the building with Paul. And I think a couple of things that stand out to me, just the staff seems to be really um, committed to each other, to the church. They really love their work, and they love the church that they serve. And so I was struck by that, was struck by the commitment of the church to the community, that, just big pieces of the building of the work of ministry in the church are devoted to the community. And how yeah, that just excites me, because I think a church is healthiest when it's giving itself to the people around it, and um, that we grow in our faith, we grow in our um, as churches when we give ourselves away. So I'm excited about that aspect, to just learn about all the different ministries. There's just so much exciting work that's already happening, and can't wait to jump in.
well, yeah, again, because of Paul and I's friendship, we've really gotten to know each other's churches very well, and uh, you've got that side of Lake Norman. You can just kind of button down your little corner of it, and then David, you got your side of Lake Norman over here, and maybe you two guys can collaborate on some things if God will lead you in that direction. But we've had a great time during our ministries working together, and occasionally we've done sermon series together, and we've done these silly podcasts together that every now and then people even watch. So we do appreciate all the folks in both churches very much. And again, it's a lot of mixed emotions there, and that's okay. You can feel more than one thing at once. I think Paul and I both tried to speak to that over respective sermons over the last couple of weeks, that you can grieve saying goodbye to a pastor, and you can be excited about welcoming one, even as I'm grieving saying goodbye to a church I love, and I'm excited about the next one. And Paul, I know you're stepping into a different stage of life. Um, and I'm excited for you and for Tammy and for your family for what's ahead for you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. And my friendship, our friendship that we've shared over the last, especially, I think's grown closer over the last little bit, is something we may joke about, but I think you know how much you mean to me, how much relationships matter, and especially to have a cohort who gets, man, these are part of the struggles, and support, and can laugh and joke and cry and get receive when we need to vent about something. Those are important aspects. And so as we kind of wind this down and start
Yeah,
thinking transitions,
right. I
uh,
think
I'm
it'd be
great.
good to give some folks some definitive dates.
Yeah.
Why don't you share with everyone your timeline at Huntersville and when Luke comes on the scene?
So I've designated my last sermon is going to be May 31st. That'll be the last Sunday that I'm, quote, preaching. June 7th, we're going to have a service of kind of a goodbye service. They're keeping parts of it secret to me, which makes me very nervous. But parts of it, I do know, we have a ritual in the United Methodist Church. When I arrive at a new church for the first Sunday, they hand me a Bible and say, "You preach from this Bible." They hand me a communion plate and say, "You serve us communion." They hand me a baptismal font and say, "You baptize us with, from this font." Well, on my last Sunday, I'll turn around and give those back in anticipation of this young man seated next to me on his first Sunday, which will be July 5th. They will turn around and hand it to him and say, "Now you preach from this word, you baptize us, you commune with us." So June 7th is a big Sunday. And then Luke's first Sunday will be present in worship. July 5th, his first sermon preaching will be
He will
July.
not be present in worship on July 5th.
Well, we have a special dispensation from Pope that he
Oh,
is
you
going.
do? Well, I guess you're right then. You must have pulled some strings.
We did. We did.
Because
Pocket has said that it is allowable.
he's not even the DS yet.
Well, we're we're anticipating that edict coming from above.
Well, so so the first Sunday preaching for Luke will be July 12th, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So over here, my last Sunday to preach will be June 14th. And it's going to be a great day because we'll have a infant baptism at the 9 o'clock service and another at the 11 o'clock service. And I think we'll have some folks join that Sunday. And then they want me back for some type of going away thing that they're not telling me much about at 5 o'clock that evening. So we'll see what happens there. I do know this, it's going to be much more of a roast than a boast, and it'll be fun. I have so my last, and that will wrap up my time at Denver will be June 14th. David.Wascho will be stepping in to preach those Sundays up until David Hyatt. And that's still some things we got to work out at Dave. We've got two pastors
Double
named
babies.
David, so they've got some things to navigate. But David.Wascho will be preaching annual conference Sunday, then the following Sunday, and the first Sunday of July. And those folks at Denver know David is a good preacher and certainly a great leader. So everything is taken care of. And then um, David Hyatt's first day in the office, I believe, will be July 6th. Yep. And then first Sunday in the pulpit will be July 12th. So
Same over here. Luke will be president in worship on the 5th, in the office on the 6th, preaching for the first time on the 12th. And in the interim between my last Sunday, June 7th, Pastor Rod over here is going to be leading the congregation in worship. I am technically still the pastor of record until about 12 o'clock on June the 30th. And I promise that I will still be doing everything I can, even after I'm not present in worship between June 7th and June 30th. I'm still going to be helping pull my weight, so I'm not slacking off.
Well, don't forget your retirement is not official until it's voted on by the clergy session of the annual conference, and we all vote. So
I am carrying weaponry. If there's anybody who dares oppose that, they're going to have to watch out. I'm serious about that. I'm joking.
I've often wondered what would happen if the clergy session actually voted not to let somebody retire.
Yeah.
We won't ponder that for you. Surely that won't happen.
But I think it is fascinating that John Wesley established that standard, that if there is a change in your relationship with the conference, that we all had to quote vote on that. And there's some statement there about the deep connection that we do experience, that we share.
Yeah. So, well, I know thank you for your time. Thanks for coming up from Belmont to meet with me and the team today and walk around the campus and see this place that's going to be your ministry home, hopefully for quite a while.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to extend the right hand if I want you guys to see that.
You always do cheesy stuff like this.
I know. I'm a cheesy. I'm a wine.
You're a hugger and a toucher.
I am. But I again reiterate to the folks what a blessing you're going to receive in this young man seated next to me, and look forward to what God's going to be doing in the future.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, and God bless you all. Have a good day.